Could you survive 24 hours in Chernobyl? The strange truth is that the answer is both yes and no. Right now, you could walk here for a day and barely be harmed. But stand in the wrong spot, on the wrong day, and you are already dead. The thing that kills you here has no color, no smell, and no sound. You cannot see it coming, and you cannot feel it arrive. By the time your body knows, it is far too late. This is 24 hours in Chernobyl. First, you have to understand what you are actually fighting. The enemy is radiation, invisible energy pouring out of broken atoms. Forget the movies. It does not glow green. It has no color at all. The air looks completely normal. There is no wall of light, no shimmer, no warning sign. The only way to know it is there is a small machine, a dosimeter. In safe places, it clicks slowly, like a lazy clock. Step somewhere dangerous, and the clicks blur into a scream. That sound is the only sense you have out here. Radiation is measured in tiny units called sieverts. A little is harmless. You absorb some just by being alive. A single big dose, all at once, tears your cells apart from the inside. And the cruel part is how well it hides. A deadly dose can feel like absolutely nothing at first. No pain, no heat, no mark on your skin. You might feel fine for hours, even joke with the people beside you. Meanwhile, deep inside, your body has already been broken. This is why radiation is so terrifying. It lies to you. Every second in a hot zone, your invisible clock ticks upward. Survival here is not about strength or speed or courage. It is about one question: how much and for how long? So keep your eyes on that number. It is the only thing keeping you alive. Now, rewind to the night it all began. It is just past 1 in the morning on the 26th of April, 1986. Inside Reactor 4, engineers are running a safety test. They want to know if the machines can power the pumps during a blackout. But this type of reactor has a deadly flaw, and no one told the operators. The test pushes the reactor into a state it was never meant to reach. In a few silent seconds, its power surges wildly out of control. Then the reactor explodes. The massive steel lid over the core is blown clean off. The blast rips the building open to the night sky. Into that sky pours about 400 times the radiation of the Hiroshima bomb. The core itself is now on fire, burning graphite, glowing in the dark. Chunks of the reactor lie scattered across the ground, lethal to touch. But the town nearby sleeps, with no idea what has happened. And the first people to arrive are firefighters. They are told only that there is a fire on the roof. No one warns them about the invisible thing in the smoke. They fight the flames for hours, standing in the deadliest place on Earth. Some pick up strange black rocks, pieces of the core itself. Their dosimeters, if they had them, would be screaming. They taste metal in the air, and their skin begins to burn. They are being killed, and they still do not know by what. So imagine you are there, in that first 24 hours. You stand near the shattered core, and your invisible clock is already lost. Below the reactor, molten fuel has burned down through the floor. It cools into a mass so radioactive it earns a name: the elephant's foot. Stand beside it in these early days, and mere minutes would kill you. Up on the roof, the radiation is beyond anything a human should ever meet. And yet, for a while, you might still feel strangely normal. And it comes, the sickness with no mercy. First the nausea, then the vomiting, then a deep, crushing exhaustion. This is acute radiation syndrome, and it is eating you alive. 2 workers died that first night inside the plant. In the weeks that followed, 28 more died from the dose they had taken. Most were firefighters and staff, people who ran toward the danger. A few miles away, the town of Pripyat still goes about its day. Children play outside, beneath a sky carrying an invisible poison. For 36 hours, no one tells them to leave. Then the buses come, nearly 50,000 people, gone in a matter of hours. They are told it is temporary. Pack for only a few days. Almost none of them will ever come home. In time, an entire region is emptied, around 350,000 people. A 30-kilometer ring is sealed off from the rest of the world. and it will stay that way for longer than you have been alive. But the wound in the core is still open to the sky. If nothing is done, it will poison the land for centuries. So the Soviet Union sends in an army, not of soldiers, but of cleaners. Over 600,000 people are pulled in to fight the invisible enemy. History will remember them as the liquidators. Their job is to clear the deadly debris and bury the wound. On the worst rooftop, machines simply die. The radiation fries their circuits. So men do the work instead, in bursts of barely a minute each. 1 minute to rush out, shovel once, and run back inside. A single minute that could shorten the rest of their lives. Then comes the most desperate mission of them all. Beneath the reactor, a pool of water sits under the molten core. If the fuel reaches it, engineers fear a second, even greater explosion. 3 men volunteer to dive into the dark, flooded basement. Their task is to find the valves by feel and drain the water away. For years, the story was that all 3 of them died soon after. But that is a myth. In truth, all 3 men survived. 2 of them are still alive today, decades later. Above them, a giant concrete shell is thrown over the ruined reactor. But this first tomb is rushed, and it cracks with time. So in 2016, a colossal steel arch is built beside it. It is slid over the reactor, the largest moving structure ever built on land. Underneath it, the core will sleep for the next 100 years. The immediate danger is finally sealed away, but the zone around it now belongs to no one. And that is where the real surprise begins. So, could you survive 24 hours in Chernobyl today? Step back into the present, and the answer flips completely. You walk into the zone, and your dosimeter clicks slow and calm. You pass through Pripyat, the ghost town frozen in 1986, a rusted farewheel that never once carried a child. School books and toys lying exactly where they were dropped. Nature has crept over all of it, green and patient. In a full day here, you absorb only a tiny dose of radiation. Less, in fact, than you would get on the flight into the country. Around 3 to 5 millionths of a sievert, almost nothing. Stay on the paths, avoid the hot spots, and you are perfectly safe. The place that once killed in minutes now lets you wander for a day. The danger did not vanish. It faded and hid down in the soil. But for a careful visitor, the modern zone is survivable. The same question, 30 years apart, has 2 opposite answers. And the strangest part of this story is still waiting in the trees. Because when the people left, something unexpected moved in. Life. With no humans to hunt them, farm the land, or build, the animals took over. Wolves now roam the empty streets in packs. Brown bears have returned after more than a century away. Lynx, bison, moose, and wild horses move through the silent forests. More than 200 kinds of birds now nest in the ruins. The most poisoned place we ever made became a kind of wild paradise. Not because radiation is harmless, it is not, but because to nature, the absence of us was worth the risk. That is the haunting lesson buried in this zone. The deadliest thing we ever built, the land was ready to forgive. It was only waiting for us to leave.